Well, here we are. We're streaming. We're live. Or more like I'm live. Actually, you only really need to see the postcode as far as I'm concerned. There we go. Where's the stream thing? Why am I not seeing the chat on the, like, dashboard? Yeah, the chat's dead. What the hell? Like, I see it if I go through the main page, but, like... I'm gonna reload it. There we go, now it works. Okay. Yeah, so I made a really dumb decision and ordered a 6900 XT earlier today. Because they finally were in stock on scan, and it was the Red Devil Ultimate, so that has the new unlocked core. And now we have no budget for the next 2 months, as in for, like, buying random shit. So, yeah. Anyway, so the plan for today is to just mess around with some RAM overclocking on the extreme. Probably gonna try some different memory chips. Right now we're gonna be on some Samsung B-Die. I mostly want to test out, like, RTL tuning, see how low I can get the memory latency. That kind of thing for now. Oh, and I do need to order liquid nitrogen for that 6900 XT once I get it. I should be getting it tomorrow. If everything goes well, then I should have the card by tomorrow, or, like, what day is it? Tuesday. Oh yeah, then I should basically have it by the end of this week. So, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the 6900 XT is going to be completely useless until I run it at sub-zero. So I really do need to get liquid nitrogen, or at least dry ice for it. But yeah, it should be interesting. Like, dry ice is sort of the easier thing to get my hands on. Like, even though it's much less cost effective compared to liquid nitrogen for me. Let's try 48. Do we want to do this with or with... we're going to do this without hyper-threading. Oh, wait, there was one other thing. So, on the Z490 boards, what was really neat with the Gigabyte... On Gigabyte Z490 boards is you had the option to just disable the turbo power limits. For whatever reason, it's not present on the Z590s. On the other hand, you do get safe boot, which is just the best thing ever. So, it's not too much of an issue. No, 1.7. Yeah, that. 5, 4, 5. Uh, 6900 XT budget paid off. No, like I just sent the most of the AHOC budget for the next 2 months into it. So your support was much appreciated, but it didn't really make a difference in the fact that, like, a 6900 XT is £1,800 if you want one with the XTH cores. So yeah. Actually, then we should be able to run 240 at this. 10, 16, and nope, that's not gonna work. Nope. Four. Six, 4. 6, 4. That's actually fine. Go. Thanks, Prodigy, for the $5. Let's see. You ever got the 3060 for modding? No, because 3060s are stupid overpriced. Like, to be fair, I think the 6900 XT is also extremely overpriced, but the funny thing about the extremely overpriced 6900 XT is that at least it's in stock, whereas the 3060 Ti just doesn't exist. Why do you want an X570 motherboard? Also, why do people keep coming to me with, like, motherboard questions like that when I've done multiple videos on that? So GPUs are completely different situations to motherboards. Because GPUs, they're just completely different. They're way more, like, they cost way more to produce. Question that tortures me for years. Do you know that you can open tabs in a browser by clicking the mouse wheel? I do know that. I also think that clicky mouse, like, the mouse wheel button is just the worst button ever created. Like, that is by far the worst button to ever have any functionality. Like, I never ever click with the scroll wheel. Because that's just... It's a scroll wheel. It's not a bloody button. So, scroll wheel click is just a functionality I refuse to acknowledge exists. And any game that has anything bound to it just ends up, like, I just rebind it. Because I'm not using it. And if I can't rebind it, I'm just not using it at all then. Like, there. Just live without it. Because, like, the main issue with it is if you try to click it, for me, most of the time what ends up happening is I also scroll at the same time as clicking, which is, like, not what I want to be doing. I do know about control click, but the thing is I do, like, a lot of the videos where I'm just sitting around in the browser, I'm using only one hand. I'm too lazy to use both hands to open a tab. Actually, it's more down to the fact that, like, when I'm recording videos in the browser, it's on one of my side screens, and so the keyboard is, like, way off angle for me to, like, reach across and get the control button, so, yeah. Anyway, 38.6 nanoseconds, not bad. Where's timing configurator? No, right now all super chats are going towards the 6900 XT fund, or more like it's more like 6900 XT aid, covering my covering up the hole that has created. Okay, so we're at 66, 66, 15, 14. Cool. So I'll just write that down. He says, and then realizes he doesn't have a piece of paper to write it down on, so that's great. Oh, we do have this. Okay, we'll just use that. RIP Z590 OC formula. Well, ASRock hasn't released it yet, so if they don't release it for the next like, 2 months, we're fine. If they release it in the next month and there's like 100 of them for the whole UK, then yeah, I'm not getting one. Because well, yeah, I'm not getting one. 66, 66, and then it was 15 and 14. And the reason why I had to use ASRock timing configurator for that is that, like, Gigabyte's readout for the RTLs down here is a mess. Like, what is channel A at right now? So, where do I want to go with this? So we're at 66. Let's try, I want to try 10. 10. And that should be 61 and 62. I ordered a Red Devil Ultimate, the air-cooled one. I was considering the OC Formula, but the OC Formula 6900 XT is like 400 pounds more, and it's just like, yeah, no. Absolutely hell no. My Hynix AFR won't reach 3600 plus. I don't know what you were expecting. It's a Hynix AFR. How did you find a 6900 XT in stock? Scan got a shipment of them earlier today, I think. Because, yeah, there's a bunch... there's probably still a bunch of 6900 XTs on Scan. So, okay, so that booted right up. Which is, like, impressive considering that most of the time... Like, in the past, me trying to tune RTLs would just lead to no boot. I'm probably gonna try a bunch of like different memory kits today. To just because I've run BDI quite a bit with the Z590 boards from Gigabyte already, so now it's just sort of like check if if there's anything weird with any of the other memory ICs, which I don't expect there to be because I was told that they literally copy pasted the Z490 memory training onto the Z590 boards, and then the Z590 boards have safe boot, which the Z490s didn't, so Z590 is just better. Yeah, so that's 37.1. Progress. We can probably run, like, instead of 60, so right now we're at 61, 62, 10, 10. We can probably do, like, 7, for the IOL, which would be 58, 59. How do I know the chip before buying a kit? I'm 99% sure I've talked about this multiple times. So, like, go watch the videos, I guess, and, like, actually pay attention to them. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. The thing is, the answer to that question is kind of obnoxiously long. No, if it took 2 seconds, then I'd answer him, but it doesn't take 2 seconds. Like, my videos are 30 minutes not because I like listening to my own voice. Well, actually, most of the, like, way past 30 minutes on the regular, and it's not because I like listening to my own voice. Why am I opening Geekbench? Z370 Prime A2. I have no idea what that is. This is E370 board though, so I'm not expecting much. EU. Yeah. Oh, hell no. Well, I guess depends how much cooling you give it. Well, like, if you put a fan on it, it'll be fine, but... Like, it'll depend how much airflow you have, and Asus motherboards from that generation don't have temperature sensors for the VRM, so... Have fun with it. Thanks, Big Al, for the 20 bucks. Ouch, 1,800... No. 1,800 pounds. Not $1,800. There's a difference. There's a major difference. Makes me feel better about the 1,200 I paid for an Asus 6800 XT about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but the core on those is not unlocked. Actually, the 6800 XTs have an even lower core clock limit than 6900 XTs, don't they? Yeah. Anyway, 35.5 nanoseconds now. So now it's moving, as far as I'm concerned. It's like actually starting to get good latency. Only issue with the RTLs is that, like, you need to set them for basically every frequency and every timing combination. You need to reconfigure them. So we are currently at step 1. Oh hell, I didn't set max mem. That's fine. We're gonna try this loose initially. Thanks, Garfish, for the 10 bucks. Anything fun to do with ancient Athlon-era socket 939 boards these days? Feel kind of sad that my Asus A8 and SLI Deluxe board is just collecting dust. Check hardware bot. I have no idea. Like, the thing is, everything older than, like, a Phenom 2 is just ancient technology to me, and I have no idea what it is. So, yeah, if I was you, I'd just check hardware bot for your motherboard and whatever CPUs you have lying around. And, I don't know, maybe you'll find something that's interesting to do. Are you plans for the 6900 XT? Demolish Firestrike. That's the plan. How am I going to demolish Firestrike? I don't know yet. I'll probably end up hooking up the Elmore EVC2 to it because Infineon blocked my Infineon account. So I'm pretty sure the version of Power Center that I have from PowerIR Center that I have from Infineon is too old, and it won't work with the controller on the 6900 XT. So we'll probably just like end up hooking up an EVC2 to it for voltage control on the V-Core. I believe there's a 35217 for the memory and SoC. So we can use the USB 0. I can probably use the USB 005 for that. Power limit is going to be an interesting situation. That, like, I can see as being the biggest issue. I want to figure out, like, the thing is, like, I don't have a specific plan. Like, ideally you'd want to mod every single voltage rail for voltage control, because you never know which voltage actually, like, does what when you're really cold. And from what I've heard, most of the 6900 XTs so far, like, don't really work below minus, like, 90 or something. And so it would be really cool if there was a way to get the card to, like, function at, like, minus 100, like, below minus 100. Ideally, you'd want it to be runnable at full pot, because then you don't have to, like, worry about it too much, assuming that the thermal paste doesn't crack on the way there. But it also, like, I don't know if there's any voltage that actually makes that possible. Is that the one Der Bauer used? I think he had the liquid one. But I have the air-cooled version, because the air-cooled version's cheaper. As for the EVC, yeah, Der Bauer also has an EVC. What's it getting stuck on? Oh, it's just looping. Okay, safe boot then. Which model are you running? For the 6900 XT? I'm getting a Red Devil. Yeah, for now it's like the Red Devil Ultimate. I've heard that apparently over time they're gonna phase out the old XTX cores for the XTX H cores. But for now it's like you need to get like a Red Devil Ultimate or there's the Toxic Extreme Edition, and there's the OC formula from ASRock. As far as I know, those are the only options for now. Was it a decent price? It was 1,800 quid, so no. But it was in stock. Okay, I think I don't have enough voltage. Like 4666 shouldn't be that hard. Oh, wait, what? Put the 133. Are you kidding me? I think maybe TCWL is too low. Or I set the tertiaries too... Well... No, I think the tertiaries are probably fine. Under most circumstances, your CPU's memory controller is fine, and also Intel only specs it to like 2400 or something. Or 2666 on the 8700K? I don't remember. This is single rank. If we were on dual rank, 4533 probably wouldn't be booting. No, the thing is, I want to test some of the normal gigabyte boards for Z590. I've spent like a lot of time on the TAC already. And I plan to do more with it again, but it's just like I got sent a stack of boards. I need to actually bloody use them. Otherwise, there's no point sending me so many freaking boards. What about testing 11900K MMOC on Z590 boards? Well, you see, the 11900K is a really disappointing CPU. Also, I can test both, but I think, here's the thing. Most of the Z590 coverage I plan to do is, Z590 as it relates to 10th gen. Because if you buy an 11900K, you're either an extreme overclocker or an idiot. One of the two. There's nothing in between. Because if you're an extreme or a competitive overclocker, right? But basically, like, either you're a hardware bot user or you're an idiot. There's no other reason to get an 11900K. Because it is so bad. 11600KF or 10700F? I'd say under most circumstances the 10700F is probably better. How big is your collection of hardware? Like 2 buildings? No, like, I'm in a small flat, and it all fits into, well, yeah, no, all of the hardware fits into one room. Though admittedly, I have like boxes where the boards are really packed. Like, there's a box behind me that's probably like 9 boards or something? Actually, might be more than 9. Yeah, I'm not going to go naming off every board in that box, but there's a lot of boards in that box. It's a cool box. We got some really cool boards in it. Okay, so now we're at 72. $14.15, I think. Man, this like BIOS layout is just freaking weird. Okay, so that means if I wanted to run 1010, then we'd be at 68. $67? What? Daniel Short. Currently mem testing 32 gigs of BDI on a 5900X with 4,000 1-to-1 FCLK made it 140% so far. So the fun fact about the high FCLK on Ryzen chips is it throws Windows hardware event errors if you put load on the CPU. So basically, you can pass mem test and then you won't pass like a CPU test. Did you get the Liquid Devil? No, because water cooling is a gimmick. Actually, no, but like the full cover water block is completely, like, I don't have a use for a full cover water block. Like, if I want to go really fast, we're either going to use dry ice or liquid nitrogen, and if I'm just dicking around on ambient, then air cooling is more than enough. I have an artifacting 1080 Ti. If you were would I be interested in that? If it's artifacting, it's probably dead. And as for... I'm not sure that I do anything with it. Yeah, no. Like, wait, that's a regular... Oh, that's a regular amp. Yeah, so that's just a reference PCB, so I don't... Like, It's not even really a good card for spare parts. This should work. The best part is we have safe boot, so if it doesn't, then I can just safe boot. Amp Extreme. Oh, come on. Right. Oh, there we go. I should have put it in the title. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna put some text on screen with what 6900. Where is that? There we go. Ta-da! No more asking me what 6900 XT I bought. Yeah, let's try like... Or DJR RAM timing OC guide on Ryzen. Doesn't exist. I think I read the RTLs wrong. I should have just used OC timing configurator. For interesting old tech, I think any CPUs, memory kit, like memory sticks, like if you're getting like any high-end motherboards are probably worth saving, especially since motherboards like to die, so they're kind of like CPUs are sort of like not that, like CPUs aren't too likely to up and die at random. Memory sticks are kind of similar in that, but motherboards, like high-end motherboards, are kind of like motherboards hate existing, basically. So high-end motherboards are one of those things that I would probably save. Also, I'm pretty sure I just missed the BIOS in safe mode, so not interested in the Amp Extreme. Yeah, no, I have too much to work on as is. There's like a really good chance that I just never get around to doing anything with that card. I have stacks of DDR3 and DDR2. Well, then bin it. Figure out what sticks are good. There's a bunch of like old 1 gigabit DDR3 memory chips that are like really, really good. And they aren't even, like, they don't even cost anything, and they're, like, way better than a lot of the late high-end DDR3 kits. Has hardware become more expensive in the UK after Brexit? Oh, really? Like, things that aren't in a shortage haven't really gone up in price. GPUs are, GPUs are a disaster, but GPUs are a disaster everywhere. Which BIOS do you prefer for RAM OC? MSI, probably? Thanks, Stig. I see you have gotten yourself a new account. I'd wonder why. Or at least a new username. Yeah, the lack of VTT DDR on MSI boards is annoying, but they are really easy to work with. So it's kind of like, I don't know. So next, I guess... Like, the funny thing, so Gigabyte's BIOS is like a clunky mess, right? But at the end of the day, it is basically feature complete for overclocking compared to most other motherboard vendors. Like, I can't think of... Like, occasionally they've been missing, like, advanced memory timings like RTLs and IOLs, but they normally add them pretty quickly. Why did you pick a 6900 XT versus a 3090? Well, let's see if Scan has 3090s in stock and how much they cost. And I might have an answer. Expect the answer to be that... Ah, yeah, so the answer to that question is because I cannot buy a 3090. So, you know... That's new. Do you think a 3080 Ti will be faster than a 3090? No. but it will be extremely close. Like, extremely close. They'll be right on top, like, it'll be right on top of, like, right under the 3090. But it will not be faster. NVIDIA would blow a fuse if they had a cheaper card outperforming the 3090, especially in the Founders incarnation. Like, maybe some of the custom cards that will be better than the 3090, but the reference ones, definitely not. Do you think hardware hash limitation will gimp certain OC scenarios? I doubt it. Like, I don't know what how exactly NVIDIA is implementing it, but if they say it doesn't affect gaming, it shouldn't affect benchmarks, which are, like, even more... Yeah, like, it really shouldn't affect benchmarks if it doesn't affect gaming. Z590 OC formula or Alder Lake CPUs? Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. There's... OC formula will come first. Are hardware info power readings accurate? Depends on the motherboard. Do I play games? Yes. But I play mostly old games, so gaming performance to me is kind of like not very relevant. Like, most of the games that I see benchmarked are like games I've never played. Right? Like, I don't play Battlefield, I don't play Call of Duty, I don't play Forza. What else don't I play? That's like a really... I don't play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's a really popular game for benchmarks. I played Doom Eternal, and I I finished it because I paid for it. And when I finished it, I was like, well, that was shit. Like, I can't... Like, somehow it was even worse than Doom 2016, so... Congratulations, id Software, on that. What did I want to do? ASRock timing configurator. So basically, like, I do play games, it's just not anything modern. I've been thinking of getting Ultra Kill recently. And I've also started playing... Oh, so it did read out the RTLs wrong, or I read them wrong. Something somewhere went wrong, because it is not 7272. It's 7072, which is a big difference. 14, 15. Doom Eternal is garbage. They took everything that made Doom 2016 annoying and made it more annoying. Titanfall 2 is awesome. Did you play Ashes of the Singularity? No. Witcher 3? Also no. Like, I like games that are, like, very, very... Like, I like racing games. I occasionally play strategy games. And then I like shooters that have, like, basically, like, really high speeds involved. Right? So that's why, like... well, that's why recently, like, Ultra Kill was really cool. Like, I played the demo, and now it's like, yeah, I should buy that next time I'm buying a game. I'll probably buy Ultra Kill. Oh, yeah, so I just misread that. So, what do we want? We're at 70, 72, 14, 15, so we want, like, 66, 67. Yeah. Then 10. 10. And that should boot. A320M-K, 2400G. Those should be reasonably accurate. Yeah, well, I've played StarCraft 2 in the past. I'm too bad at it. It's stressed the game. Like, playing ladder in StarCraft 2 is just, I can't. I think I made it all the way into Platinum. But I just can't. Like, I can't multitask that much. And not that quickly. Okay, we're right at the limits of the memory controller now. Because it 55'd before. We're gonna let it go into Windows. Oh, come on. Okay, IMC won't take that. Yeah, other than that, recently I've been playing a ton of BeamNG. Now that I bought automation, and just building cars in automation and then testing them out in BeamNG is really fun. Tell me you didn't pay scalper price for it. What's the MSRP for a 6900 XT? Because at this point I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Not StarCraft, Star Citizen. Never played it. Like, I don't really do immersive games, now that I think about it. Like, I like games where you just pick them up, and they don't, like, instead of games where they're, like, trying to be super realistic, or, like, well, I don't know. Like, I think the only real connection between the various games I play is that there's, like, either they're really heavy on customization, or they're really fast. One of the two. Unreal Tournament. That's too old. Like, that Unreal Tournament is one of those games I would have played if, at the time, like, if I had been able to play it at the time that it was relevant. Have you heard about Trackmania? I have. I've thought about getting it. I haven't. Okay, so now we've lost a bunch of latency, but that's because of the timings, and we need to set maximum, so... Okay. Thanks, something random, for the 5 Canadian. Escape from Tarkov. I've heard of it. I've never even looked into it. Base game is free. Oh, I guess I should get it then. Have you played any recent MMORPG? No. Yeah, no. Thoughts on ITX builds? The only interest I have in ITX motherboards is the part where they have less DIMM slots than ATX motherboards, and then everything else about them is just wrong. I want an ATX with, like, 2 DIMM slots. Also, ITX boards do have some interesting, like, power delivery benefits in some ways, but for the most part, it's just, like, I wouldn't do an ITX build. Like, there's no consideration for me to actually, like, go, like, oh, look at the space saving, because it's just like, I have enough space for a computer. Not enough space for all the motherboards. For one system, yes. New stuff comes later this year and DDR5. I wonder about that. What was I going to do? Oh, right, we were going to go way lower timings. Try make up for the latency. Oh, yeah. Actually, we're probably going to start with 1.95. Why am I having such a hard time hitting the 1 key on this keyboard? Seriously. It's just right there. Just press it. Red Devil or XFX Merc 319? Which, for what? For daily or for benching? Because for benching, you need the unlocked chip, which you can only get on like a couple cards, including the Red Devil Ultimate. Will you review 5000G APU when they release to non-OEM? Yes. Yeah, those should be fun to mess with. Actually, I don't do, like, reviews. Is there a way to donate not through YouTube Super Chat? You can go through Patreon. Like, you can just, like, use the Patreon. That would be ideal. I think I might have set the maximum too low. Which would be pretty stupid. I get the feeling I didn't set maximum correctly, which is why we're still stuck on the loading screen. So, safe boot to the rescue. I don't think there's any software to OC the integrated iGPUs of APUs. I have a question, I'm new, but memory OC secondary tertiary timings influence primaries? No. But your tertiaries, your primaries can affect the tertiaries, by which I mean like the RTLs and IOLs. Do you like VR games? I've never used a VR headset. Like, it's kind of funny, but if you compare me to most other YouTubers in terms of, like, games we play, it's like, I play games from, like, 5 years ago. As, like, the most modern games I regularly play are, like, from 5 years ago, probably. Something like that. Actually, when did Titanfall 2 release? Oh, I did play a bunch of Need for Speed Heat, I guess. That's relatively recent. But yeah, like, I don't really play... And I dropped Need for Speed Heat when I realized that some random Porsche is, like, way, way overpowered. Because of course it is. That's the one thing I find so, like... It's the one thing I don't like about, like, Need for Speed games is just like, oh, but what if the best car in the game was also ugly? It's just like, you've got to be kidding me, guys. I refuse to drive that thing. Even if it's like 10 seconds faster than everything else in the game. I refuse to drive it. It's ugly. So, yeah. And that was how I stopped playing Need for Speed Heat. No, we've got 2.4 gigs of maximum, so that's correct. I guess it's just not stable? See, I don't like the look of most Porsches in general. So, like... No. Z490 or Z590 better for 10th gen? So I've heard for other, like for Gigabyte, I'd say Z590 and Z490 in terms of memory overclocking are the same. And if you get like a Z590 Ultra, Master, or Extreme, you get Safe Boot, which you don't get on their Z490 boards. With MSI or like Asus, I think their Z490 boards are actually better at memory overclocking than their Z590s with 10th gen. So yeah, but that's what I've heard. I've not tested that myself. So it really depends on which specific vendor you're looking at. I was talking about the RSR, not the Evo. Yeah. I can't even remember the name of it. It's just like some old Porsche. And the thing is, they had the same thing in Need for Speed World. Where like in A-Class, the... Actually, it's not that old. That was a significantly more modern Porsche, but still an ugly one as far as I'm concerned. So the point still stands. It's just like Need for Speed games and the wrong, like, ugly cars being way too fast is like, no, the worst part is like in Need for Speed World, the vanilla balance of that game, like the official balance from EA, the fastest car in the game was the McLaren F1, which is just like that car is just like also just like it looks like a triangle. I just like no. Absolutely no. What cheap 16 gig RAM kit would you recommend for benchmarking? Like a 3200 CL14 G Skill is probably your best bet, or a 3200 CL14 Team Group. Like any 100-ish dollar Samsung B-Die kit that's like decently, like with decent timings should be a solid option. Have you considered dabbling in sim racing? Kinda, but then I need to get a wheel. Used any Linux distros? No. Also, I think I missed a super chat. Oh no, I did suggest a memory kit, so I didn't. Oh, come on, man, this capture card. Hello? What's a possible reason TRRDs don't go down to 4 on B-Die? Your motherboard's weird. That would be my initial reaction. I've had a few situations where the BIOS would not let you run low, like really low TRRDs. $3200 CL11 needs way too much voltage. The one downside to having the safe boot button on the Z590 boards is you don't have a reset button. At least not on board anymore. So you'd need to like hook up the front panel headers for a reset button. How about flight sims? Yeah, no. Like flight sim, like I don't get the appeal of like flying a plane at all. Cause like everything is so far away from you that like it's like I like speed. What is safe daily SoC voltage for 5000 series? Anything below 1.2 volts is fine, yeah. Like, it's still the same I/O die. They've just done some tweaks to make the Infinity Fabric go faster. Our 3200 CL16. Garbage. They are garbage. Unless you know exactly what you're buying, it is garbage. Just fly lower. Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like I like seeing the environment whiz past me in my peripheral vision, not, you know, like, under me. I think it crashed. Oh, no, now it's running. The cable's all loaded up. There we go. Okay, mouse still works. Oh, whoa, we really lost a lot of latency. Now it's at 40 nanoseconds. What the hell? Have you had any luck with FCLK over 1900? I've not really tested it. Like, I've not tried to go for, like, full stability with it. So, yeah, I don't know. I got a 3466 CL19. That might actually be worse than 3200 CL16. Because 3200 CL16 would be equivalent to like 3466 CL17 point something. And you have, like, it would be, yeah, like 17.3. And so a 3466 CL19 is like, that might actually be worse. Congratulations. Crucial Ballistics 3200 CL16 is fine. It's the other vendors, like Corsair 3200 CL16 is like the worst like it is the, like, it's a total, like, random, it's totally random what you're gonna get. And so buying that and expecting to get good RAM is a stupid idea. Or even like RAM that you know how to work with is just a terrible idea. Because it's going to be anything under the sun. And a lot of the stuff you can end up with is really bad. I'll trade you an SP96 10900K for a 2DIM Z590 board. There's one issue with your offer here. I have only one 2DIM Z590 board. And I'm never letting go of it. Come on. Max clock 2400G. If you're if you are very good at memory overclocking and you're on a good motherboard, a 2400G should be able to do even like 3800. But under most circumstances, you probably want to stop at 3600. But yeah, you could and also like 3600 really depends on what memory you're running. That's the best Z590 board for MMOC. There's the OC formula. That's probably another really solid option. There's also the Z590 Unify X. Do you have any brands you bias or maybe should stay away from in general? Not really. My approach to all the different motherboard brands, it's well, no, there's BioStar. So BioStar is just kind of like, I wouldn't even bother. Like, you might not get a completely terrible board, but I don't think you'll ever get an amazing BioStar board. Whereas with the other vendors, it's just like, in my experience, every single motherboard manufacturer has made a terrible motherboard. is making at least one terrible motherboard, will make in the future another terrible motherboard. So basically, I'd say they all kind of suck. Depending on what specific model you're looking at. So it's not about the brand, it's about the thing that you're actually it's about the board, as far as I'm concerned. Any love for the Z590 Dark? I hope to get one. What do you think about 1040 and V560 MMOC? Cool, I guess? It's not really something I plan to do. Z590 Dark or Apex? Man, that is a weird question, because it's like, I think the biggest complaint I've had for both EVGA and Asus motherboards, especially the Apexes and the Darks, is that they're really optimized for a specific set of memory kits, and then a lot of other stuff doesn't work properly. And EVGA is worse about that than Asus is, because Asus is still like a much, much, much bigger motherboard manufacturer than EVGA. So that, when it comes to just validation and testing, Asus can do way more than EVGA can, just because they're so much bigger. So, if you're specifically going to be running B-Die, I think the Dark is going to be, G-Skill B-Die, I think the Dark's going to be completely fine, and then for a lot of other things, it might be kind of awful. Yay! We're finally back to where we started, 36.1 nanoseconds. Trying to run Micron memory chips on a Z390 Dark is just don't do that. Just don't. Because it's so bad. And yeah, I guess if you knew what you were doing, you could probably coax it to work eventually, but on most other motherboards, where Micron is actually supported by the BIOS properly, you shouldn't have any problem going well over 4,000. And then on motherboards where the chips aren't supported, you're just stuck at maybe stuck at 3600, maybe lower. So, yeah. It's kind of that's kind of the thing. So you kind of if you're really going for the limits, you kind of need to choose your motherboard to match the memory kit you want to run. Is that camera question for me? Because the camera currently recording the system is some Sony thing. Man, you gotta love run-to-run variants. Yeah, no, I'm using some Sony camera. And it's not like I chose it specifically, it's just like my brother had it lying around in his room, and I was like, hey, can I take this? And he was like, sure, I don't have any plans for it, so now I have a camera. This happened a few years ago. I think a few years ago. Yeah, quicker tech's comment is, that's the camera I'm using. I think it's in the heart. Yeah, like that is the camera I'm using. What exactly does the MSVDD and frame buffer voltage power in an NVIDIA GPU? So frame buffer is just memory voltage. Like, it literally just goes to the memory chips and the memory controller. And the MSVDD, I believe, goes to, like, the caches and maybe the sketch. Like, if you look at there's, like, die shots of Turing GPUs, the lower, like, the part of the Turing GPU on the lower portion, which looks really different, that part. That probably runs entirely off of MSVDD. Yeah, I know quicker tech is Mick. You use the same profile picture, like, everywhere. It's so weird, like, it trains, like, so much better time. Oh, now we're at 15:15, okay. Let's try 13... 13. I was gonna be, like, the CPU is gonna be so upset about this. Oh, wait, what? No, 66. We're gonna get a 55. We're probably gonna get a 55. We're not even making it to the 55. Yeah, we're not even making it to the 55. I think I set them wrong. Wait, which button am I on? I don't know, I'm on the safe boot button. Okay, we're just gonna safe boot. Wasn't it 66 to 68 and then 15:15? Or did I misread it again? I probably misread it, right? Yeah, probably. How am I cooling the RAM? With hopes and dreams? Yeah, that's how you cool your RAM when you're at 2 volts. You just don't, because it doesn't matter. Like, the funny thing about RAM is under most circumstances, like, if you have a memory chip that is really voltage sensitive, it'll just up and die and it won't even overheat. Like, RAM just doesn't pull enough power to, like, need significant amounts of cooling. Though it is getting airflow from the radiator, so... and, you know, like, sticking a fan right on top of the memory sticks can help. I don't think they could add that functionality, because when I told Cookie about it, he said he had, like, it has to be implemented through the microcontroller on the board. Okay, no, that seems to be worse. One thing I can't tell is if the safe boot button actually kicked in, which is kind of annoying. Do you know if it's possible to buy those layered thermal pads? Yes, it is. They're really expensive. You can almost, I'm pretty sure you can find them on DigiKey. Wasn't crypto intended to replace conventional money in the first place? Maybe by its creator. I don't think the rest of the world agrees with him on that. Also, Bitcoin is just terrible as a currency. Like, I'm not, like, there might be other coins that would actually work as a currency just fine, but Bitcoin, like, the fact that there's a fixed supply of it is like, why would anybody want to ever pay for anything in Bitcoin when they know that there's never going to be, like, theoretically, if there was any level of demand for Bitcoin, its price would increase infinitely because they're never making more of it. And also, over time, as like people lose their passwords to wallets and maybe somebody sends like money to a wallet that doesn't exist or something, like there's going to be less and less coins available, which is just going to make it more and more valuable. So it's like, why would you ever want to spend your Bitcoin? Right? Why? Unless you're like desperate and you've run out of all other funds, like you would just sit on it forever. Kind of a garbage currency. Like that's the main reason that like all governments try to maintain a certain level of inflation, because if the money was appreciating in value over time, nobody would buy anything because you just like you'd be better off just sitting on it. So any currency, like any crypto that has a fixed amount of coins is like not really viable as a currency. Because like if you know there's never going to be more of them, like the value probably has to yeah, it's not like that's the thing is like either you believe that people want that want that coin, and if there's never going to be more of them, then the value is just going to go up forever. And if people don't want the coin, well, why would they give you stuff for it? Right? Like why would somebody sell you something for a coin they don't want? So it goes 66, 68, 14. Oh, I misread this part. It's 14, 15. So actually, it should be 62. No. 64. 12. And then 12. 65. There. And now we're going to get a 55. Have you heard of Master Boot Record? I have. I've checked it out. I'm not a fan. What happens when there's dozens and dozens of different cryptocurrencies? I mean, some of them will just get ignored. Like, there's no reason that all cryptocurrencies have to end up being popular, right? Like some of them will just up and die because nobody wants to use them. Big yeet energy on the voltages now. We might even need more V-core, because I'm pretty sure it's the uncore crashing again. Oh, man. Having upgraded Mobo CPU and RAM, which drivers do I have to install? Mobo drivers, maybe? I don't normally bother with those myself, though. I think we're going to have to downcore the CPU. I don't think there's any other way this is going to work. Actually, no. There might be one alternative. No, that's core PL. We want ring PLL. So this was really important on LN2, but I don't know if it works at ambient. We'll find out, I guess. Oh? Did it work? I think it I think it... I don't think it did. What's your favorite movie? Not something I've very much, like, really thought about, so I don't know. If a fan is rated at 0.16 amps, is that continuous? That should be continuous. Actually, the startup current might be higher. Actually, should be higher. Yeah, so we can get into the BIOS. So it's like it's literally just like it doesn't like load right now. So we're gonna like bump everything and hope for the best. When will you make extreme ambient GT 1030 overclocking? Good question. I've not like that's not really a priority right now. Damn it! No. There is nothing to repair Windows. Give up, please. I will say one of the most annoying things about the Extreme is that it has a relay for isolating the audio. I think it's for like disconnecting the audio when the board is turned off so that you don't get like a hum or something if the system's not turned on. But man, that relay is annoying because it clicks every time it turns on. Like when I first heard it, I got super freaked out by it because it's like normally when you hear a relay click, it means your power supply tripped over current protection. Like hearing a hearing a relay click is not a good thing. That normally means something is very, very wrong. I really love giving money to my best friend builds. Like, P.S. I can't wait for the day he admits that we are best friends. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. But thanks for the 50 Norwegian crowns. Yeah, I know the Z490 Extreme also does it. The first time I ran it, the first time I noticed that, like, I have the Z490 Extreme as well. I have both of the Extremes. I'm actually, like, I'm probably going to get rid of the Z490 Extreme because, well, partially because of the 6900 XT, also because it's like the Z590 evidently does everything at least as well, if not better. So, yeah, I'm thinking of, like, once I'm done with these once I'm done with all the testing I want to do, it's like I probably keep the Z590 Extreme. The Tachyon, of course, I'm also keeping that. And then, like, most of the other boards, I don't know, I might give them away or something. Like, technically, I have permission to do whatever I want with them. So... yeah, anyway, what did I want to do? More system agents. Subscriber raffle. Yeah, I guess well, I don't know. I feel like... See, so personally, I don't like random chance very much. Like, it's one of those things that I just find incredibly annoying is when anything is random. Considering overclocking a 9100F, no. Do the secondary and tertiary timings depend on the motherboard? RTLs depend on the motherboard. Yeah, RTLs and IOLs depend on the motherboard. Everything else depends on the memory sticks. Except if the BIOS is screwed up, and then it depends on the motherboard. Like, on some BIOS versions, especially timings like TCWL will behave weird. Like, given the BIOS... Like, well, no. So, the motherboard, like, technically speaking, if you have, like, a good motherboard will run, like... So, it's hard, because technically, if you screw up the motherboard hard enough, it'll affect everything, right? Because at the end of the day, all communication between the memory sticks and the CPU happens through the motherboard. So if the motherboard is a complete disaster, then your memory overclocking is going to be a disaster, and it doesn't really matter what memory you get. But if you don't buy garbage motherboards, that's not a thing you need to worry about. No. Like, the 6900, like, 6900 XT Crossfire isn't happening. What's gonna, like, which actually was my original plan, was to just, like, sell off some of the hardware I have lying around, including the Z490s. The thing is, like, at this point, I have no budget for next 2 months, thanks to the 6900 XT. Like, if the Z590 OC formula releases tomorrow, I can't buy it. There. So yeah, that's kind of the main reason. Like, basically at this point, any money that comes in extra is just like, yeah, it's covering up the hole that the 6900 XT made. But the thing is, 6900 XTs are so rare that it's like, well, if I didn't buy it now, there's a good chance I would never, like, wouldn't get another chance until it's irrelevant. So yeah, I have some RAM I need to get rid of. But I mostly want to get rid of motherboards, because motherboards are, like, annoying with how much space they take up. Too big. Isn't ASRock sent... No, ASRock doesn't send me anything. They are very offended by my existence. And I'm very offended by the garbage motherboards they produce. So, we have a mutual understanding on that. Or more like, they are very offended about what I think of their garbage motherboards. Okay, I think we're just gonna have to downcore this thing. It's not having it. Is the X570 tough good for RAM OC? It's good enough if you're, for like a daily, for daily it's fine. And the annoying thing, like, the thing that annoys me about, like, pissing off brands like Asus and ASRock is that, like, they occasionally make great boards. Like, all vendors occasionally make great boards. And then it's like, when they do make those great boards, I can't get them without buying them, and it's like, damn it, guys. So, yeah. What do you think about the Crosshair 8 Dark Hero? Is it good for RAM OC? It should be one of the best 4 dimmers that Asus makes for X570. The thing is, like, X570 is really bad at BCLK overclocking. And so if you're going for, like, competitive RAM overclocking, you want a B550. Why does it... man, this has to be so unstable right now. Like, that's the only reason why it won't go straight into... Like, won't even try to boot the OS, is if it's super unstable. I really wish I had a reset button still. Or a retry button. X570s. Yeah. Actually, if people want any hardware, like when I end up selling off the hardware, if anybody wants like signatures or something, you can just ask. Thoughts on Apple M1? It's an Apple product, and that like I don't pay attention to those like at all, so I don't really have any thoughts on it. This worked before I tweaked the RTLs, right? Have you run any PyPrime yet? No. I didn't even know it exists until you mentioned it. Do you use PCIe 4.0 SSDs? Hell no. I don't even use PCIe 3.0 SSDs. I use SATA SSDs. Like, my channel is very heavily imbalanced in terms of, like, really fast CPUs and GPUs. And then, like, the games I play are, like, ancient, and I refuse to use M.2 drives. Which, it's not even that I refuse to use M.2 drives, it's just, like, the SATA ones are fine. So, I don't really see a reason to get an M.2. Can we trade? No. I don't let people borrow stuff. Like, I also don't borrow other... Like, I don't loan stuff out, and I don't borrow stuff from people. Because, I don't like those things. Because you loan somebody something, and it breaks. And it might not even be their fault, but, like, hell no. I do not want to deal with that. Ever tried Stalker? I've heard of it. I've not tried it. Why would you want a faster drive? Like, the thing is, I've never felt like anything takes too long to load. Do you think the SN-15 rocket will land or explode today from SpaceX? Is it one of their normal ones, or is it like one of the experimental ones? I have not been following that much. You will after running an NVMe daily. I doubt that. Because I'd first have to get an NVMe in the first place. And that's not going to happen unless somebody sends one for free. And that's just a case of like, yeah, I don't care. Like, even if they sent one for free, it's like I wouldn't even feature it in a video. So they're not going to send one. Because it's like, I don't review storage. I have no interest in reviewing storage. And... yeah, that's about it. Like, the funny thing is, I moved a bunch of games off of my hard drive onto my SSD. And they still don't load any faster. Because they're just completely decompression bottlenecked. So it's like, yay! That was a great thing to do. Well, no, that's not entirely true. There's a couple games that sped up a little bit, but a lot of them, it's like I haven't noticed a difference. It still takes way too damn long. Because ultimately, like, most games, once you have a certain amount of, like, read speed, just get stuck on decompression in the CPU. Okay, I'm going to just set these back to auto. Because I evidently don't know what I'm doing with them. I just want to get a run in. No, I have like a reasonably modern SATA SSD. But it's just like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, I think the one game that I was most excited for was like heavily modded Minecraft, and heavily modded Minecraft just doesn't care. Because like at the end of the day, if you actually look at the like game file, it's very small. And then when you look at the game when it's running, it's 10 gigs of RAM. So logically, it's not bottlenecked loading and there's no 10 gigs of data on my hard drive. So most of that is getting decompressed. Or just multiplying in like size when it moves from storage to actually running. And so that that part where it expands into the RAM is the part that's really slow. So I was like, yeah, Minecraft's gonna load so much faster now. Then it didn't. And then most of the other games just don't load that long in the first place. Max safe voltage for DDR4 if you don't want to like bend over backwards for it, like 1.5 volts with most memory chips. Okay, I think we're just gonna safe boot all the way into Windows. I had one mod pack that I think swallowed up like 14 gigs of RAM, but I don't play that one. Because it's like you sit there like 10 minutes waiting for it to... I don't think it's 10 minutes. It takes forever to start. And then when it runs, it chugs. Like, it absolutely bloody chugs. I think I broke the OS again. Which would be pretty funny, because I have broken this OS in the past. Like, this OS is a complete disaster. Like, for some reason, 3D Mark runs on it super slow. And just in general, it's a mess. So, maybe I broke it again. Because it was already pretty broken. So maybe now it died fully? Yeah, I think it's dead. I think it's properly dead this time. Oh, looks like we're going to be installing Windows 10 on stream. Yeah, I think it's dead. Thanks, Baz, for the 20 Australian dollars. Got an unused 10600K after adding 10900K to main after checking 11th gen. Also scored a Patriot 4400 CL19 kit for 13. Looking at Z590 Torpedo, is it a solid choice? Mostly mem focused, but may mess with CPU. I don't know how MSI's Z590 boards are with 10th gen CPUs, like, at all. I've not tried them. I should probably yeah. I have no idea how MSI's Z590 boards are with 10th gen chips. Like, I would assume, like, it shouldn't be bad, but I have heard some awful things about at least Asus boards, so I don't know, like, I don't know if all the other vendors did what Gigabyte did, where Gigabyte just kind of copied their Z490 stuff to Z590. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to save a profile. Actually, we can save right over this one. That's fair enough. And then we're going to load optimize defaults and Run at stock. I'm not even sure that they have VTT on all of their motherboards now. Yeah, the thing is the Z590 boards have higher mem specs for 11th gen, not 10th. I think. Been a while since I checked. And I guess I have to check again. But I'm pretty sure it's like 11th gen is the one that goes way higher, and 10th gen is... like, 10th gen should be either the same... well, actually, no. 10th gen should be the same. If nothing else... If nothing is wrong, 10th gen should be the exact same between Z590 and Z490. Do you have an OC optimized Windows image, or do you install from stock? I install from stock. Yeah, okay, this is super bricked. Like, technically, I do have some SSDs with, like, more... Like, recently, because I actually got a bit serious about running some, like, benching a bit, I actually now have a few SSDs where the OS on them is, like, not a complete disaster, but this one right here is just, like... This is the OS I've been just throwing at every single system, and if it dies, it dies, and yeah, it died. So, new OS, here we go. I was told not to install Ryzen Master. It's because it's kind of bad. Like, you should really, if you're going to be overclocking, you should do it from the BIOS. The only real utility Ryzen Master has is, like, core clock control once you've booted up. Wait a minute. Okay, we are still on the correct BIOS chip. Wait, no. Where's the boot override? Oh, there it is. Like, this OS got repaired once. I don't think it's getting repaired again. Don't have a key. Oh boy. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna delete everything. I'm actually gonna use the whole SSD in this time because, like, I've been acquiring, like, small-ish SSDs to use for OSs at this point, like, so many of them at this point that I don't... Like, the having multiple partitions was if I wanted to have, like, a NVIDIA OS and an AMD OS on one SSD. But now it's like, I don't really need to do that. Especially not with this drive, I don't feel like, because this one ultimately just gets thrown around anyway, so... No, it wouldn't, because I'm going off of a USB stick. And, like, a cheap, crappy one. Do you ever have issues with Gigabyte BIOS getting corrupted so it doesn't see your GPU? No. Still need multiple partitions for copy Waza. Yeah, but that I have an SSD dedicated to SuperPi now. And this is not it. So... What would you consider tight primaries? Depends on what frequency you're at, because at 141432 at like 2666 is loose AF. At like 4,000, 32 is tight, really, really tight, especially at 1.45. At 1.45 volts, 32 at 4,000 would be like some of the best memory I've heard of. Enable or disable EIST and speed step on i3-9100F. I have no idea. I've really not messed with locked CPUs like at all. What are the probable reasons for high latency in IDA for AMD? I have a 4650G and you're getting 83 nanoseconds. Okay, that's because your timings are garbage. But under most circumstances, AMD gets relatively high latency because, actually, if 83 nanoseconds sounds like your timings are trash and you're desynchronized. So basically you're doing everything wrong and it's not AMD's fault, it's yours. But I'm assuming you already knew that. And otherwise, like, the reason why AMD can't go under 40 nanoseconds is just, like, down to how AMD designed their CPUs. They're not designed to be super low latency. Oh, wait, I didn't want to do that. $3,200 megahertz mem upgrade to 4,000. Worth it for gaming. Depends what games you play and how CPU bottlenecked you are. Also, the thing with memory upgrades is, like, if you just run XMP timings, you really don't gain that much memory performance. Oh, you're on a 5800X? Then don't. Like, straight up, don't go for DDR4 4000 unless you know what you're doing. I'm surprised we don't have, like, a 3733 CL14 bin for Ryzen. Because, like, there's a 3600 CL14, which is, like, okay, but, like, in my experience, 1866 works everywhere. 1900 is kind of iffy with some CPUs, but 1866 is like even Threadrippers run 1866 Infinity Fabric. And so it's like 3733 CL14 and just like a really tight 3733 would, in my opinion, be like the most optimal Ryzen memory kit ever. And instead we have like 3800 CL14 where it's like you're asking for the Infinity Fabric to get unstable. And then you've, of course, got everything above that where it's like, oh, yeah, good luck with that. If you don't know what you're doing, that's not going to work at all. Is 46.6 nanoseconds good for a 3400 1919? I have no idea because I've never run settings that slow. Is that on Intel? It has to be on Intel. There's no way AMD's doing 46.6 at 3400. Skip. I do not have internet. There's more to discover when you connect to the internet. I don't have internet. Leave me alone, Windows. I'd be like, how are you live streaming then? Magic. Actually, I could probably okay all of this and it would be fine because after all, I don't have internet hooked up, so... But it's just like... No. Not now. Live streaming, this is clearly pre-recorded. Indeed it is. How much did you pay for the 6900 XT? 1,800 quid. I really hope I get it sometimes, like, get it soon. Okay, order has been confirmed. I should have it tomorrow. Oh, man. Oh, yep, yeah, I should have it tomorrow. Man, if I kill it like I killed that Vega Founders Edition, I am going to hate myself so much. That's the main issue with an 1,800-pound GPU is, like, if you screw up... Right? Like, if you screw up, it hurts so much more. Did you say 1,800? Yes, I said 1,800. Lick it like the Vega. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I'm also gonna, like, write no regrets on the back plate. Or somewhere, I'm gonna have to find some place on the PCB to write no regrets on. Unpin, unpin, unpin. Okay, so fresh OS. Ooh, I have that new desktop wallpaper that I worked on. We could throw that on there. I've not even put it on my, like, USB stick of benching stuff. Where did I put it? Ah, right. It's here. There it is. Where is it? There we go. Nope, that's the wrong USB stick. Walls, walls, walls. There we go. Open folder. Go. Gonna use that one. Actually, we're gonna use both of these. Oh, well, I'm gonna have both of them in case I ever change my mind, but I doubt it. Yes, this is the most important part of setting up an OS. There we go. That should automatically increase memory overclocking stability. And now we just need to throw a bunch of benchmarks on here. And also, we need to do something about the resolution. Ah. Okay. We're gonna need NVIDIA drivers. Where are they? Oh, they're not in utilities. Where's NVIDIA? There we go. Which driver do I use? Ah, this one. Let's just use this one. Yeah, let's just use that one. Run. Yes. Oh man, I keep forgetting that you have to disable all that crap every time. Z590 UD, can it handle 10900 KF for air and only gaming? If you're on air cooling, yeah. I don't trust it. Okay, well, I did block GeForce Experience. I should have the 6900 XT tomorrow. There's also a decent chance I'll be getting a Z97 OC Formula tomorrow. Why don't MSI make a Unify B550i? That wasted board just from MOC? The thing is, ITX boards have, like, major design compromises to be ITX. So, that, like, no... Like, from a memory overclocker's perspective, you don't actually want an ITX motherboard. It just, unfortunately, is the only form factor where you can consistently get 1 DIMM per channel. Oh, in all its glory. And washed out colors, because NVIDIA has that weird thing where they clamp the black level, I think. So now it's like gray instead of black. It's black for you guys. It's gray for me. Or actually, I think it's gray everywhere, and it's just the difference between my 2 monitors. The only my monitor set, like, everything about my daily system is just, like, such a horrible mess. Like, I have 2 TN panels for the sides because TN panels are dirt cheap. And then the center monitor is IPS. So that's fun. Because it's like, well, that's the monitor I use most of the time, so that's the only one that actually needs to be, like, good quality. And unfortunately, the backlight LEDs on it are dying. It's not like... The backlight, I think, is fine. It's just the LEDs are going out on the bottom edge. So... Yeah, anyway. Now how do I fix the color levels? Also, what is up with that scaling? Like, this is supposed to be a 4K image. Why does it look so pixely? Oh, well. Where is that? I have no idea where NVIDIA has the, like, color quality setting. No, that's not where it is. Adjust color, advanced, set to 0. Wait, where? Adjust color where? In Windows or like... NVIDIA panel, okay. And change resolution. Wait. Are you using the latest driver? No, because we're not going to be running any 3D benchmarks. Video color. And then advanced. Oh, there's advanced. And it still looks garbage. Like, it still looks exactly the same. So... This is why you should use AMD. Because AMD has working colors. No, it's still gray. What the hell? Like, it was black before. Like, NVIDIA can't even draw black. It doesn't do anything. Like, it literally just straight up doesn't do anything. There's no change in the colors. NVIDIA controller panel, change resolution. There's a change resolution option? Yeah, no, I'm on the full 0 to 255, and it's like not, like, it looks the same. Like, I can go back to the 16 to 235, and it still looks the same. Oh. Oh, it's down here. Still gray. Oh, there it is. Full. Hooray! Why do they even do that, though? Like, why? Why don't you have the full color range as default? Yeah, I found it eventually. You can tell I don't use NVIDIA GPUs. It's just that, like, with a desktop background like this, if the black was gray, I can't. With the other one, I was willing to tolerate it, because it was clamped on the other one as well. But on this one, hell no. We don't need that. Screw it, we can add SuperPi to the benchmarks. Actually, don't I just have Benchmate? We could just use Benchmate. Yeah, I'm just gonna use Benchmate. And then for utilities, I want hardware info. I don't think I actually need to pull out CPU-Z though, because Benchmate's gonna add that. I do need IDA, which I think is down here. Yeah, it is. What else is there? That's, well... I don't really... If I need anything... Oh, right, we need ASRock timing configurator. Where is it? Oh, man, on... I think it's 4.03 that works? Like, there's some weird thing with, like... ASRock timing configurator where it's, like, a specific... Like, an older... I think it's 4.03 for Z4... Z... Well, we'll try it. Like, the issue is if you use the wrong version, it's just not going to read the timings. Gonna look like we're going to find out. Yes. Okay, so I did install the correct version. Good. Next Benchmate. Yeah, install everything. Am I going to have to, like... No, I don't want it covering up the postcode, so it's not going to get any bigger. Actually, I don't know, wait. We could do... Oh, come on. Could do this. It's going to be very confusing, but at least it takes up less space. There we go, and now we have Benchmate with all its lovely benchmarks. And I also need to go take care of IDA. Which I do have a key for it. Also, you know what? We are going to open one more thing, and I'm going to kill this. Because should have done that first. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's the thing, yes. Where's my keys? Where are my keys? Oh, there they are. go. So that's IDA done. Now we just need to do Geekbench. Okay, that's Geekbench done. And for whatever reason, when, like, the freaking start menu doesn't work. Are you kidding me? What the hell is... Well, at least right-clicking on the start menu still works, apparently. The heatsink on the left is on the 10 gig LAN, because it was getting kind of warm. And it probably needs a heatsink more than the VRM. Did you not watch the most recent video on the channel? It's not, as far as I know, it's actually not the BIOS on the new 6900 XTs that makes them go so much faster. It's a new chip revision plus the BIOS. But if you take that BIOS and you throw it onto like old cards, apparently they don't work. Also, why is this so pixelated? Like, I don't get it. I feel like Windows is like compressing it or something. Yeah, it has to be like compressing it. Oh well, whatever. See, so this is what every OS starts out like, and then eventually it just devolves into like a desktop covered in files that don't work. Okay. There we go. So everything seems to be working as it should be. Now we can go back to breaking the operating system. Oh wait, I forgot to do max mem. Oh well. Long-term effect of 120 CLK drive strength. Can't find any info about it, but I can get my 120 CLK drive strength. It shouldn't cause any issues. Like, I'm surprised that that works for you, but if it works, it, like, really shouldn't cause any problems. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pin this. Makes my life a bit easier. Why not a... No, the 6900 XT now has a 4 gigahertz core clock cap, so it's not capped anymore. And why not a 3090? I can't get a 3090. Like, if NVIDIA would kindly ship some 3090s to the UK for long enough that they don't get immediately sold out, then maybe I'd have a 3090. But as it is, I can't buy a 3090. I can buy a 6900 XT. Well, actually, right now, I can't, but because I already bought one, but yeah. I can't buy a 3090. So you don't care about RTX DLSS. Literally none of the games I play support any of those. Like, so yeah, I literally couldn't care less about RTX or DLSS because there's not a single game that I play that uses either of them. Also, I'm not gonna actually. I'm never, with all probability, I'll never play a game on that 6900 XT. Like, I think the only thing I'll really do with it is like run Firestrike. And then once it like stops being relevant, it might end up in my daily system, or like I'll accidentally kill it. One of the two. Like, my daily is on an RX 580, and it's not like I couldn't swap out for a faster GPU right now. I just don't really feel like doing that. Honestly, like, I've seen some videos of DLSS, and, like, it still has, like, a bit of ghosting going on. And I'm, like, I hate, like, I can't even do temporal anti-aliasing because of how much ghosting that has. And then it's like, oh yeah, now we have an upscaling technology that also adds ghosting. And it's just like, what is wrong with you? Who the hell ever wanted their game to be blurrier? Like, I think that I read some article somewhere where it was like, oh yeah, the great thing about TAA is that it naturally adds motion blur. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, that's one of the first things I disable in every single game that has it. And if I can't disable it, I often, like, actually, yeah. There's a few games that I straight up just, like, don't play because it's like there's too much motion blur. And I like being able to see what I'm doing. Thank you very much, you know? Why won't you shut down? This is why we have a retry button, because I've been holding that power button for way over 10 seconds, and it just won't turn off. Depth of field is another effect that I absolutely despise. It's just like especially because most of the time it doesn't even look good. Like, you get that, like, it has this really weird, like, you can tell it's not, like, done, like, it's not real optical depth of field. And it's like this really fake blur thing going on, and it's just like, no, it looks bad. And it's blurry. FXAA, TAA, depth of field, motion blur. All horrible, horrible graphics settings that should never be applied to anything. And I'm assuming DLSS would probably end up on that list as well. Oh yeah, chromatic aberration. Actually, I can live with chromatic aberration. But motion blur, hell no. Absolutely hell no. Man, this track is so repetitive. You can really tell that, like, that this is one of, like, I think, like, the second track I ever made. Actually, no, it's probably, like, the third. But yeah, you can really tell I was running out of ideas. It's also super old. I need to make a shorter version of it. I think it's like 4 minutes. It could be like 3, and it wouldn't really hurt it in any way. I think I have too much system agent. MSAA. Yeah, MSAA is good, but heavy. Which is why most games try to replace it with, like, FXAA or TAA. And FXAA is literally a blur filter. Okay, it's not literally a blur filter, but it looks like it's a blur filter. It's like, would you like your game with a 1-pixel Gaussian blur? It's like, yes, thank you very much. Now I can't see the Jaggies, because I can't see anything else. Anything. Nah, the capture card's fine. Memory ref clock on 100 or 133. It just controls which ratios are accessible. So with 133, I have this set of ratios. With 100, we have the other set of ratios. And 133 is generally more stable than 100, so I use 133 just to stop, like, there's no reason to use the 47x ratio, because it's probably not going to work anyway. Like, TAA creates a bunch of ghosting and motion blur, which is, like, I don't like either of those, which is why I don't like I really wish Need for Speed Heat had some different AA options back when I still played it, before I figured out that, like, some random Porsche is the most OP car in the whole game. SMAA. I don't think I've ever played a game with SMAA. Yeah, no, I don't think I have. What phone do you recommend? I don't recommend any phones because I, like, don't pay attention to them. At all. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, I'd rather have screen tearing than TAA. It's like, there's something about, like, having, like, really harsh tears in the image is less annoying to me than having a blurry image. Which I guess is really weird, but yeah, I really don't like blurry. I've never played GTA 5. It's another one of those games that I've been like, oh, I should get that someday, and then I just don't. So, safe boot. Save me. Actually, I don't... Screen shake I'm fine with. Or, well, no. So screen shake is a weird one for me, because it's like... Like, I appreciate the intensity it adds to the game, but when it throws off your aim, it is so annoying. So yeah, screen shake is a weird one, but like head bob, I disable. Because that's just annoying. like tastefully applied screen shake, I think, can add a lot to, like, explosions and stuff. But if you have, like, constant shaking or, like, constant bobbing, that's when it's like, oh no, now it's annoying. If it's occasional, then it's fine. And I think there's some games, like, I think some games have a screen shake where it actually... Like, I feel like there's some games where screen shake is, like, it doesn't actually change change where the crosshair is pointed. So you can still hold aim while the screen is shaking, and it's, like, fine, I think. Or maybe those games just have so low fire rate weapons that you're just not really that affected by it. Now, why do you not work anymore? I feel like I screwed something up. Oh, wait. What the hell? Oh, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. That's not supposed to be that low. Nah, I don't like head bobbing at all. Because, like, your vision doesn't bob when, like... Well, I guess that you don't have power armor in real life, but, like, the thing is, when you walk around, like, your head isn't stationary, and your brain cancels out the motion of that, mostly. So it's like, even if you had power armor, I would assume your brain would still account for the head bobbing enough that you wouldn't really, like, experience it. As much as, like, in a game, you can very clearly see, like, the freaking thing is bobbing up and down. Stability. Actually, it might be fine. Yeah, it's just the capture card being my capture card. Max SoC voltage for basically all Ryzens is 1.2 volts. Whoa, that's some memory stability right there. More details. Okay, well, Maximum is working the way it's supposed to be, but Windows isn't. Buildzoid playing Factorio. I need to... That's another game which is like, I should get that. That actually looks like something I would enjoy playing. I don't play Kerbal Space Program. So on Kingston HyperX 2666, I should use ref clock 133. I think that defaults to 133. Like, I'm not sure you can even get that ratio without 133. Yeah, because there's 2666, and if I go to 100... Yeah, you don't have 2666 on 100. I feel like something I did made it worse. You play cricket? No. I don't play any sports. You can set it to auto 10, 100 or 133. Like, if you're going to be overclocking the RAM, I would stick to the 133 ratio. It's better. Like, most of the time it works better. And you have all of the, like, useful memory speeds. Are you interested in a Phenom 2X6 1055T or an R9 270X? Interested, yes, but like I'm assuming like for free and not buying them because like there's no budget. I blew it on a 6900 XT. Why does he keep doing that? Oh, come on. No, you're not allowed to... OS. LN2 tank lifting competition. I'd get destroyed on that. Every time, like, it's so, like, that is, like, so, I have 4 doers. And 2 of them are, like, impossible to pour into a thermos. So what I end up having to do is lift the stupid things. And they're, like, 35-liter tanks. So they probably weigh, like, 40 kilos when they're full, maybe more. And man, having to like pour one of those things into one of the tanks that I can actually like that is actually usable for like regular filling up a thermos always ends up absolutely murdering me. I have finally figured out a way to stop the LN2 dripping on my foot though. Because that's always so annoying and so like if it really freaks you out when it first, you know, like, gets you. Because it's so cold and you don't expect it. Like, I've not given myself any, like frost burns or anything. But, man, transferring one tank into another is just such an unpleasant experience. And also, since it's like dripping, like, yeah, because it's like dripping on the floor, like I'm always worried that I'm spilling a ton of it on the floor because there's just smoke everywhere. You can't even see like where it's going. Um, so yeah, LN2 transfers are not fun at all. Okay, so this is annoying. So I've managed to make it less stable, which is like good job me. Because I had like 4666 kind of working, and then it just kind of stopped working. So I guess we'll go back down to 4533. Yeah, no, I straight up don't wear socks, and I like, well, like if I'm not wearing shorts, I also like pull up my pants so that it doesn't, because that was actually the closest I got to giving myself a burn with liquid nitrogen is when I spilled like a lot of it on my pants, like the leg of my pants, and then it was just like yeah, that was about as close as I got to giving myself an LN2 burn. Because it soaks into fabrics. So it's like if you spill it on yourself and you were completely naked, it'd be fine. But it soaks into fabrics. So if you spill it on your clothing, you then have liquid nitrogen soaked clothing, which is way worse than liquid nitrogen on its own. So yeah, it's always quite the operation transferring the LN2. Did I break another OS in like record time? And pull the USB sticks. I wonder if like Windows Explorer trying to detect the USB sticks is causing that. It would not surprise me if that was the case. Thoughts on Toxic 6900 XT? It comes with an AIO, I guess, if you care about that. Jump from the Z490 Aorus Extreme to Z590 Aorus Extreme, noticeable, worth it. If you have to ask, not noticeable. We're at stock now, though. Okay, wait. So, yeah, Windows over here, like, garbage. Get a shortcut for CPU Z. Let me pin it, you stupid OS. Oh, great, that, like, why is Explorer completely borked? Goodbye, Explorer. Oh, Windows R doesn't work. Are you kidding me? I can't right-click to like, pin anything. No. How did it get in the, like... So that worked, but I can't... I can right-click on the desktop, okay. But that's broken. Why is it broken? Like, this is most impressive. How did I manage this? No, we have more drivers than what I normally go with. Like, I regularly have OSs with literally no drivers installed whatsoever, and they still don't do shit like this. I blame the NVIDIA drivers for this. Nope, that's not where I wanted to go. Benchmate. Well, we'll have to do this the hard way, I guess, then. I'll have to... What? Yes, please put it on the desktop. There we go. So now we're at stock. Alright, that doesn't work. How silly of me, thinking that I could shut down the system. I got one of those gaming keyboards. No, I don't. Restarting Explorer.exe. I already tried that. And it didn't do anything. Okay, well, we're back up at 4533 CL14. Let's get ready for Windows to explode again. Maybe I shouldn't skip the disk check. Though, running a disk check with your RAM at 4533 CL14 is probably not the best idea. What are your plans for the new card? Run Firestrike on it. That's most of them. How does it even do that? And why? Oh, now it's back? Okay. Still can't right-click on anything on the taskbar, or the, you know, like, Windows icon. So that's fun. Really got that going for me here. $38.1. Okay, that's invariant, that's not out, like, that's not down to variance. Oh, man. I think I'm gonna, like, safe boot it, let Windows repair itself, and then go back to benching. Yeah, okay, it does work like that. Flickering, no, it does that at stock. Like, it does that at stock, too. What's your source of income? YouTube. Well, actually, Patreon. At least the OS is very, like, clean right now. So it doesn't take long. Is this the 10900K? Of course it is. Do I look like I have enough, like, do I look like I have the budget to have multiple 10900Ks? RTTs. You just set them to whatever works. That's literally all there is to them. Like, whatever works is whatever you run. Best software for validating iGPU OC. I don't know. And it's back. Damn it! Okay, maybe the VTT DDR is actually too high now, but... Man, if it broke again... Actually, Haynes, why don't you, like, overclock that old system to its limits? Like, that's the one thing I feel bad about with, like, getting fan mail, is, like... When I was getting into overclocking, it was like, I wanted to have, like, spare hardware to just use for experiments. Even really dumb ones. And so it's like, well, if somebody sends me something, then it's like, oh, well, now they won't have anything to try stuff on. So... yeah. I don't... How do you do that core desoldering using a toaster? The toaster acts as a heat assist for the hot air. Because I have a hot air station. And the only issue is, it takes forever to heat up a PCB like a GPU. So you put the GPU on the toaster, you turn the toaster on, and if your toaster's like mine and it spits out air that's well over 200 degrees Celsius, not long after that, the GPU will be like really hot. And it makes it much, much easier to take the core off using the hot air. So the toaster doesn't actually take anything off on its own, it just acts as like a heating plate. I swear it's the NVIDIA drivers. I am going to uninstall the NVIDIA drivers. Where is it? There's Explorer. End. Oh, we can't even end it because it keeps restarting. Oh. Finally. Where's VDU? Or it might be the, like, I'm 99% sure Windows is, like, compressing the desktop background, so maybe it's the compressing of that that's, like, putting so much load on the memory. It can't load Explorer. No. Oh, we're gonna be stuck at, like, not 1080p after I uninstall the drivers. See, this right here makes me think I was right about it being the NVIDIA drivers. Like, the fact that uninstalling the drivers triggers the same symptoms is like, oh, I wonder if that's really... That's a connection there. Also, I probably shouldn't be doing this on the same unstable memory overclock that keeps breaking Explorer. Didn't I say clean and restart? I broke DDU. Good job, me. There goes another OS. That is a record. If this broke the OS, that is going to be a record for me for like going from working OS to dead OS. So well, we have no NVIDIA drivers anymore. This still doesn't work. And Explorer still does that. Yes. And we still can't right-click any icons, so no pop-up menus. We're not going to do that on the memory OC. I hope it works. I get the feeling it's still broken. It's taking too long to load in. Yep. It's still broken. I'm gonna safe mode it. I literally just made this OS. So it's like... I don't get how I don't get it. Why is it already dead? If I had a really, really good OS that I actually wanted to like keep work in a like keep backed up, then I'd make an image of it, but not really had an OS where I was like, oh yeah, this right here is a real proper perfect OS that really needs to be saved. We're at stock. Like, it's not overclocked right now, and it's still doing it. Yeah, see, we're... I mean, the memory's at stock. The CPU, for some reason, is pegged at max turbo. But, like, everything, like, memory's stock. CPU, like, turbo boost is, like, broken right now, so we're stuck at 5.1. Yeah, that still doesn't work. How does that even happen? There's some kind of error message, like, buried way down in the details list. You can see, like... No, let me scroll down and stay down. What is that? That's Windows Error Manager, isn't like... I think that's what that is. Kind of looks like that's what it might be. Yes, still broken. Search function doesn't work. Notification, nothing works. Everything is broken. Yep, OS destruction speedrun. Yeah, NVIDIA telemetry is still on them. DDU again. Yeah, I think I will. But I'm first gonna actually like set it all back to stock. So SFC scan now. Dude, I don't think we're gonna get to the part where we can scan anything based on what we're currently seeing on the screen. Also, I've never actually had Windows manage to recover itself, like, properly. Like, the OS that I started this stream with was one that, like, somehow managed to repair itself, and then it just up and died anyway, so... There's something, like... The funny thing is, like, I've never had this issue on, like, a bunch of other motherboards. And then it's on, like, the Gigabyte... Like, this Gigabyte... Actually, I think the... First time I broke Windows was the Tachyon, and I think, yeah, so Gigabyte boards, something about how I'm setting them up makes it super easy to break the OS. Because I normally don't go through that many OSs, which is how they get to that condition of like, well, 3D Mark is running really badly and I don't know why. Like, in order for the OS to get to that state, you need to go through a lot of motherboards and drivers. Yep, Explorer is still broken as hell. I can still run stuff. I have other OSs, but I'd rather not break those. Like, one of them's for GPU benching, and one of them's specifically for SuperPi, and I don't really want to use that one here. I think Explorer is just gone this time. It's just freaking gone. Uh-huh. Yep. Can I just punch in, like, CMD? Oh, boy. The C button doesn't work. There we go. Oh, man. I really hope just punching and C... No! Holy crap, Windows! How do you do this to yourself? And... Oh, come on. Yeah, so DDU didn't work out, and Explorer is just gone. Windows 10 is so bad at this. I've never broken a Windows 7. Never, ever. And Windows 10 is like a semi-regular occurrence of just getting completely trashed. Though this is a new one. Normally it gets to a condition where it's just completely unbootable. And it always ends up in startup repair, and then you try to run the repair, and then it just doesn't. It still ends up in startup repair afterwards. Oh yeah, the date and time is also completely, like... How does it even end up at 2042? Like, where does it pull that from? Yeah, this is done. This is so gone. Yep, this is gone. Well, that's what that is the fastest I've ever broken an OS. I can't do anything. Like, the OS is unusable. Windows goes by the BIOS for the time. But the BIOS wasn't set to 2042. Since some guy keeps asking for me to swap the GPU, we'll try the GT710. I have very little faith in that making a difference. I don't have a restore point for it. No, the motherboard does support the iGPU, but it's not active right now. Yeah, no, it's still broken. Like, the fact that it's loading this long means it's still broken. Should have been in the OS. Yep. Yeah, the GPU doesn't matter. So that's new. Well, I guess the OS is saying that it doesn't want any more streams the stream to continue. So I guess fair enough. The BIOS is already reset. Everything is reset. Like, that OS just decided that, like, it doesn't like having Explorer working. I'm really surprised that I never broke 7. Because I've done way worse things on the 7. Far more regularly, too. And then, like, Windows 10 is just like, you sneeze on it and it dies. Or more, well, it's not like you sneeze on it, but, like, Windows 7 would take almost, like crazy unstable memory overclocks. And it would just take it. Like, never had to repair anything, never scanned the disk, never anything ever. And then there's Windows 10 where it's like, oh, I tried to run 4660 6CL14 with, like, with the voltages slightly out of whack, and OS blows itself up. It's like, you're... The SSD is slowly dying. You know, that might be a possibility. But it's not like, this is a relatively new SSD, though. I've never used Linux. Like, Linux isn't accepted for benchmark runs, so no reason for me to use it. And now it doesn't want to, like, boot? Oh, I think it's because the flash stick is... I think it might have been trying to boot the flash drive, but there's nothing on there, so... No, we have the right boot sequence, so, like... No, everything's at stock right now. It's still broken. I can't set the date because I literally can't click on anything on the bloody taskbar because it's broken. If I set it in the BIOS, the Windows will... Well, actually, we could try set it in the BIOS, I guess. Where's the date? Oh no, BIOS date's also out of whack at this point. The thing is, Windows overrides the BIOS date in my experience. Yeah, it does. The BIOS the BIOS is like... Oh wait, no, that's the BIOS version number. There. 2021. Wait, is it day? Oh no, it's month, day, year. Okay, well. Yo. For some reason, the plus button doesn't work on that. This is the issue. It like scans itself, doesn't figure out what the error is. Okay, apparently it's repaired now. Because I once tried to do the whole, like, use the USB install, like, the install stick to repair a Windows install. Never worked. So, like, the only repair for Windows 10 is a Windows 10 replacement. Well, the fact that we're still looking at the loading screen tells me it's still broken. Because it shouldn't take this long. I swapped the SATA cable. Because, like, if that does anything, I'll be very, very surprised. But, like, it's not normal that it keeps self-corrupting itself. Because it's at stock now, and it still keeps pulling up check disk. Nah, it's still broken. It's still taking way too long to load. Yep, still very broken. I don't feel like reinstalling it again. Not right now. Like, I'll have to reinstall, like, and make a new OS anyway, but... Yeah, so that went great. Try booting in safe mode. Wait, how could you trigger safe mode before Windows starts? Don't you need to activate? No, you don't. Like, you do on 7, but not on 10 for whatever reason. Like, 10, like, I have no idea why you are supposed to activate Windows 10, because even if you don't activate it, it, like... Oh, no, I think it's after a certain time period, it, like, stops you from personalizing. Probably need to disable fast boot. No, because fast boot just skips memory training. 4 failed boot attempts. Yeah, I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, no, I don't feel like continuing with this. Screw, screw you, Windows. We have other... Yes, I do. I just don't like... This seems like as good a point to stop the stream as any to me. I mean, we can do the reset thing, but... Oh, you didn't decide to bring up automatic repair. Yeah, no, we're not doing any games. Are you kidding me? No. Like, the disk keeps... You know, the SSD might actually be dead. Because, like, no, that OS... No. The SSD is fine, and the OS is just so borked that it breaks a file every time it tries to turn on. Like, every time it boots, it corrupts itself. It just corrupts itself more. Pairing disk errors. Okay, yeah, I had this once before. At the end of that, still didn't really end up any better. Wait, did it just finish repairing itself? I don't believe it did anything. So apparently that repaired it. The loading screen is lasting a suspiciously long amount of time. Yep. Very suspicious. It's still broken. It's definitely still broken. Yep, called it. So anyway, that's it for today, because it's a bit unfortunate that we didn't run anything other than BDI. And that's what I get for trying to tune the RTLs, I guess. Like, to be fair, at the lower speeds it works just fine, but at the higher speeds my memory controller just can't do it. Actually, it's not even the memory controller, it's the memory controller and the cache. That's the big part of it, is like the cache and the memory controller. Because when I tried to run this CPU on liquid nitrogen to do 4800 CL14 on liquid nitrogen, it was so unstable until I fiddled with like cache voltage settings and stuff. So yeah, this chip garbage. So that's also part of the reason why when I use it for VRM stress testing, I just do not give a damn that it's sitting at over 100 degrees Celsius, because it's like, what, is it going to get worse? So, yeah. I could have run some other memory sticks, I guess. That would have been interesting. Yeah, that I think is kind of the only thing I should have done, is like run like some Micron sticks, maybe some DJR. Mostly Micron sticks, because Micron sticks are like weird with compatibility on Intel systems. Okay, Explorer is now so broken that it doesn't recover at all. Man, that OS. That is that is a record. I'm surprised I haven't managed to do that to my like daily system yet. Anyway. Yeah, so that's that. I do have a 6900 XT coming tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm gonna do any, like, I'm not sure that I want to do anything immediately. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing is, I saw 6900 XTs are available, and I was like, I will obtain the 6900 XT and figure out what to do with it later. So, great planning on my part there. For any kind of fan mail thing, send me an email to buildzoid@gmail.com. So, like, yeah, if you want to send me hardware, that kind of thing. But play some games with it. But then I'd have to set up an OS with, like, games installed. And I don't feel like doing that. No, it's one with the 4 gigahertz clock limit. Because, the 3 gigahertz ones don't unlock, as far as I know. Because it's not a BIOS thing, it's a chip thing. The old chips don't go above 3 gigahertz. Because the clock... I'm guessing the clock gen in them just doesn't go that high. Now, it's XTX-H. The regular XTX goes to 3 gigahertz. The XTX-H goes to 4 gigahertz. Yeah. Guess I also need to buy some kind of coolant for it. The only thing I can get on short notice is dry ice, though. Yeah, so that's kind of it, I guess. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats and all the support. Try streaming tomorrow. No, we are not. Like I am not. I'm gonna tone, like, there was a period of time when there was like a lot of live streams up. I'm gonna tone down the live stream frequency a bit, because I found it makes me less productive when it comes to making actual videos. And the videos are, in my opinion, far more useful than the live streams. Because, like, and I base that on the fact that every live stream I get people showing up asking the exact same freaking questions. So it's like, yeah, we're toning those down because they're not effective. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.